Hi besties, welcome to today's video. I know it has been a while, a hot minute since I last posted a new video, and I am so sorry about that. I wish I hadn't taken as long as I did, but I am so happy to be back and I'm so glad to be talking to you guys again. I missed creating content for you all and I'm so happy to be back and can't wait to get more content out to you. Today we have Molly. Hi sweet girl. Today we're going to be going over not just my May wrap-up, but my April wrap-up as well. One of the reasons why I didn't get any videos out in April is because I actually only read one book in April, and not that that's a bad thing, but just that my mind was elsewhere, so I didn't really have much of a focus on reading or putting content out on YouTube. And then in May, I was able to get back into reading a little bit more. I tried to get back into the swing of things, and I actually was pretty successful with reading. I read more books than I usually do, actually, and surprised myself, so that was a great thing, and I got back into the swing of things like I hoped. And so that is also why I am finally back into making new videos for you guys. I am back, I am refreshed. So without further ado, let's get into my April wrap-up, which is just one book, like I said. I read Crown of Midnight, and I honestly took the whole month to read it, like I said. Not that this book was bad by any means. I actually really enjoyed Crown of Midnight, but there was a couple things that made me so bummed and sad in this book, and so it made me read it slower at times just for a certain chunk of the book. But other than that, like, even with the moment that happened in the book that upset me, I still was very invested in the story and the characters and what was going on in this book, and it was still an incredible book. I rated this a 4 stars. I love the characters in this story and this series, and I can't wait to see where this series continues. I know that it gets really crazy from here on out, and I'm so nervous for that and somewhat not ready, but also very ready to continue the series and meeting so many new characters. But like I said, nonetheless really enjoyed this book, and the ending was crazy. I did guess the ending. I did have a feeling and predict what was going to happen, but it didn't make it any less enjoyable. I still loved it, and I actually felt like so proud of myself for figuring out the ending, because I have a feeling a lot of people had no idea what was coming and what to expect. A little bit about this book. I can't give too much actually, because it is the second book in a major series, but I can give a little bit of a synopsis to the book. This is, like I said, the second book, so it's following what happens in Throne of Glass, with some major challenges for Selena that she has to overcome and a lot of tough decisions that she has to make. She decides that she's going to defy what she was told to do, and she tries to hide it and hides it well. She's told to do these certain things and kill these certain people because she's an assassin and she's hired as such. But she has been keeping a secret from the person who is telling her who to kill. She is faking those murders, but it's getting more and more difficult to hide that fact that she isn't murdering these people. If she is caught, it not only affects her, but it affects people that she loves. So she has to make some tough decisions. There are some tough things that happen that she experiences. That's pretty much all I can give on this book, because I don't want to give any spoilers, like I said, but really liked this book and really love this series so far. I can't wait to get into The Assassin's Blade. I know that the reading order is different for so many people. I am sticking with reading The Assassin's Blade next and then reading Heir of Fire afterward, and I'm really excited, like I said, to get into Assassin's Blade and then continue on with the rest of the series. It is such a good series, and I cannot recommend it enough if you have yet to read this series or any of Sarah J. Maas's books. She's an incredible author, and I couldn't say enough good things about her. That's all for April's wrap-up, but now getting on to May's wrap-up, which, like I said, was a much better, much more successful month. I started out May with reading an ARC, actually, that was sent to me. I was so excited to have the opportunity to read this book. The book is called Trouble by Megan Holly, and it was a really cute book. It was a really good romance, and I did enjoy it. The two main characters are Indy and what's his name? Are Indiana and Sebastian, nicknamed Indy and Seb. From the beginning of the book, it starts out with a prologue. You get a glimpse into the end of Indiana's summer. She met someone, and she never really paid attention or tried to be with guys. She never really trusted guys or would open up to anyone. So when she crossed paths with Sebastian, she was very surprised. He made her feel valued, and one thing that she always thought was that she wasn't worth the trouble, which is why it's called Trouble. But she never felt that she was worth the trouble for a guy to put in the effort to be with her, and Sebastian felt the opposite and made her feel like she was worth it and that she should be valued. And she had an incredible summer with him, and then at the end, which is what the prologue is just the end of the summer, she gets stood up by him. She is upset, she's heartbroken, and she leaves to head for college with a plan of leaving all of that and him in the past. So then it fast forwards to the present time, which is the start of the school year, just after that summer that sucked. She is so excited to have a new fresh start. She has her violin and the rest of her stuff, and she is moving into the college of her dreams. And she's at this, I forget what it's called, but like in front of the college when they have like a bunch of tents and tables set up talking about all the like extracurricular clubs and activities that are available at the school. She's walking through and she runs into none other than Sebastian, of course. You do get both points of view, so that's really nice because you get to see Sebastian's thoughts too and learn more about why he stood her up. It's a really cute story. I really liked it. I did feel like there were some parts that were a little, bless you, a little, I don't know, just not great. They just, I don't know, not that they weren't great, but there were parts that just felt like they didn't need to be in the book or were kind of random. But otherwise, the writing style was really good. I did really enjoy the book. I enjoyed the characters and side characters that were in the book as well. And this is the start of a new series too, so I'm excited to see where the next book takes us. We did get a glimpse into what that second book is going to be about and who it's going to be about, and I'm really excited for that. I'm really looking forward to how they get together and everything. So I'm really looking forward to continuing the series and seeing where it goes. I'm so grateful that I was given the opportunity to read an advanced reader's copy of the book. It is out now, and you should definitely check it out because it was a really cute romance. The tropes in this book are reverse grumpy sunshine. He's sunshine and she's the grumpy one, forced proximity, and second chance. I also gave this, I forgot to say, and I've had it up this whole time, but I rated 3.5 stars. So definitely check it out, especially because there are going to be more books to the series, and this is only the first book in the series. Then next, I read The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I finally read The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I know this has been on my TBR for a while, a hot minute, so I was really excited to finally read it and check it off my list. And I really enjoyed it, like I thought that I would and hoped that I would. This book, if you haven't heard of it before, is basically, it gives all the vibes of Disneyland / Disney World. I absolutely loved that. I ate it up. It made it really easy to picture a lot of things throughout this story because I was able to just picture the Disney parks, and I enjoyed that because it made me a little bit more invested in the story. I rated this book 4 stars, and I can't wait to continue the rest of the series. It is a 3-part series, a trilogy, and each one is focusing on a different brother. There's 3 brothers, of course. This one is on, not the youngest brother, I think it's a middle brother. His name is Rowan. The main female character is Zara, and the way that they meet is so entertaining and so funny. A little backstory to this book. Rowan, like I said, is one of 3 brothers, and they are all billionaires. Billionaires, yes. They're all grandsons to the owner of Dreamland, aka Disney World, Disneyland. And at the start of this book, you find out with the 3 brothers that in order to inherit their portion of Dreamland, they have to complete a request, a personal request that was created and written down by their late grandfather in his will. It's all stuff that really puts them out of their comfort zone and is tricky. So with Rowan, his request from his grandfather was to renovate part of Dreamland and to reimagine part of it because it's not where their grandpa wanted it to be anymore. So he's told that he has to renovate part of Dreamland in order to gain his portion of ownership over Dreamland. He decides to hire Zara, who is going to help him create and renovate part of Dreamland. And then from Zara's point of view, she drunkenly submitted an application to be a creator, aka an Imagineer, for Dreamland, and she didn't think that she was gonna get it. Like when she accidentally submitted it, like she didn't mean to, and she accidentally clicked submit and she couldn't take it back. So she was terrified that she not only wasn't gonna get the job, but that she was also gonna be fired, and then finds out that she actually got the job, surprisingly, oddly enough. I thought that their banter and the way that they started from enemies to lovers was so good. It was a little insta-lovey, but otherwise, like, it was still very enjoyable, and I loved their connection. I just love the way that they came together and their banter, their relationship, and everything. I thought it was so good. I ate it up. I highly recommend this series if you haven't read it yet. I understand why people love Lauren Asher so much, and I can't wait to read the rest of the series. Then I read another arc that was sent to me, and this one is called Play for Keeps by Lily Miller. I thought that this book was so good. I really enjoyed it. I rated this book a 4 stars. I think I'm actually gonna put it at a 3.75. I don't know, I'm trying to be more picky with my star ratings because as I read more books, I'm realizing what I truly like and what is like okay and enjoyable, but not my absolute favorite books. Not that this wasn't. This was such a good book. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved the storyline behind it and the idea to it. I thought it was really well done, and I really enjoy Lily Miller's writing style. It definitely is a bit on the spicier side, so if you aren't the type of person that enjoys a spicy book, I don't recommend this book, and I also don't recommend Trouble either because both of them were spicy books. But if you don't mind a spicy book, then I do really recommend Play for Keeps. It was such a good book. The two main characters are Everly and Jake. Hi, Moose. Hi, Moose. The two main characters, like I said, are Everly and Jake, and the biggest trope actually for this book is that Everly is a single mother, she has a daughter, it's a single parent trope, and the other main trope in this book is age gap. It's reverse age gap, so he's 7 years younger than her, and I usually don't like age gap books, but I really did enjoy this book, and it didn't bother me with the age gap. It wasn't focused on too much, and I thought that that was good. I thought that it was very realistic with all things considered. I really liked Jake's character. I thought he was wonderful. He's a very protective guy. He's very kind and caring, and let me start with the way that this book, like the synopsis of this book and the way it starts. Everly swore off men forever. She swore off men because of her cheating ex-husband. She had a horrible experience with him, and it just set her on a path to never want to be with another guy again, especially now with like having a daughter in the mix. Like, she has to be extra careful with who she is with because she's not only putting her heart on the line, but she's putting her daughter's heart on the line. She's dealing with her ex-husband for a while after their divorce, specifically just putting up with him for their daughter Birdie. But at a certain point she has enough and she's ready to move because he says, oh, I'm going to North Carolina. He gives no reason behind it, and he just basically up and leaves. And so she's like, okay, well, we're not dealing with that anymore. I'm over this. I'm over dealing with him and trying to work with him. She takes her daughter, she packs up what she needs, and the two of them move to a small town called Reed Point. It's closer to where her parents are. It's in the same town as them. She's working late hours at night at this really busy, popular restaurant. And that's when she comes across Jake. They literally run into each other, and he's hooked from the beginning. Like, this book is from a dual point of view, so it's dual POV, which I thought was really nice because I love being able to get the guy's perspective on things too. When they run into each other, like, he's infatuated with her from the beginning, and she's like, man, this guy is attractive, but I can't even entertain the idea of being with him. But fate has a different idea, and so they keep crossing paths, and he meets Birdie, and it's just so cute the way that he is with Birdie, and the relationship that unfolds with the three of them is so precious. I absolutely loved it. I really liked Birdie's character. Like, I didn't think she was annoying by any means, because I know that sometimes kids in books can be annoying to people, and I haven't read enough books where there's a kid in it, so I haven't really decided yet if it bothers me or not, but for this book at least, it didn't bother me. I thought that Birdie was adorable, and I thought that the three of them, like I said, together were all so cute. So I gave this book a 4 stars, and I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. One thing about this book, it is the second book in the series, but the series is interconnected standalones, so you are able to read the second book without having read the first book. There was nothing I felt like I didn't understand when reading Play for Keeps without having read the first book. So that was a really good thing, and I still highly recommend like either reading Play for Keeps or reading the first book and then reading this book, because the series is really good so far. I really enjoy this book, and I'm definitely going to go back and read the first one. I want to learn more about their story and everything and continue the rest of the series. There is another book coming out, I believe this fall. The third book is coming out, so stay tuned for that, and definitely check out Play for Keeps by Lily Miller if you haven't yet already. Then last but not least, I read Legendary. I actually am still in the middle of reading Legendary. I am almost done. I just have like a third of it left, or a little less than halfway of it left, but I am cooking along. I'm almost done. I'm really enjoying this book. I'm actually enjoying it a bit more than I enjoyed Caraval. Caraval wasn't bad by any means. I did enjoy Caraval, but I just felt like it was a bit of like you were living in a fever dream. Like, it just felt very, I don't know, there were a lot of things that you couldn't tell what was real from fake, and I know I've talked about this before in a previous video, but it just like, it was confusing at times. It was hard to keep things straight and to know what was real and what was fake, but I still nonetheless did enjoy it. And I think that what helped out with enjoying the book was having read Once Upon a Broken Heart before reading this one. I can definitely say now with confidence that it is the reason why I'm able to continue this series, because I know a lot of people out there have tried to read the series, tried to read Caraval, and didn't enjoy it and couldn't continue the rest of the series. And because of that, they haven't read the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, and that bums me out because that trilogy is so good. I loved the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and I can't recommend it enough. So if you started out with reading Caraval and you're one of the people that gave up on the series, at least for now, and weren't interested in it, I really recommend reading the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy first and then coming back to Caraval, because I think you'll enjoy it a lot more like I am. There's a main character in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series that he's mentioned, his name isn't mentioned, but a different name that he goes by is mentioned in Caraval just once, but I honestly, before reading this book, didn't know that that was a name that he goes by. So I didn't know that he was mentioned in the first book, but I knew that he was going to be mentioned and be a part of this book and then be a main part of the third book finale. So that is pushing me along farther. I'm really enjoying it. And I think that also having read the Once Upon a Broken Heart series before this one is making me enjoy that main male character more than I would have having read this series first and then reading Once Upon a Broken Heart, because I feel like in this series he's made out to be liked a lot less. At least he can easily come across that way if you haven't read Once Upon a Broken Heart or any of those books, but it makes it a lot more enjoyable having read that series and then coming back and reading these books. So if that interests you and you're fine with having a minor spoiler revealed to you reading the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy and then going back and reading this trilogy, if that's okay with you, then I highly recommend doing that reading order. Take it with a grain of salt if you're considering reading either series, but that's my take on it, and it has me enjoying this book a lot more. It's definitely trippy, don't get me wrong. There is some moments where I'm not sure what's real from fake. Molly just jumped up by the camera, so if it moves, that's why. You can kind of see her. But there is a lot more to this that I'm really enjoying. I'm finding it so much more fascinating, and it's just more exciting than the first book was. I know I didn't describe anything about this book, but I can't really, because otherwise it'll give spoilers, but it does continue from where Caraval leaves off. The one thing I can tell you is that this series is about 2 sisters. Their names are Scarlett and Donatella. First book is in Scarlett's perspective, and this book is in Tella's perspective, Donatella's Donatella's perspective. I feel like the stakes are a lot higher in this book. There's just a lot that Tella has to go through, and she has to, this part isn't a spoiler, so I can tell you this part. Tella has to discover what Caraval Master Legend's real name is. He goes by Legend to everyone, but no one has ever found out what Legend's real name is, and there's always an actor that plays him in the games. And so it's very mysterious, and you always are trying to figure out who Legend actually is. Going into this book, you're still trying to figure out who he is, and there's so many ideas thrown out there that it just like completely throws you off and you have no idea what's correct and what's wrong. But the challenge that Tella is left with is trying to find out Legend's real name. She made a bargain with this mysterious criminal, and he fulfilled his end of the bargain, so now she has to fulfill her end, which is getting him Legend's real name, his true name. And it's an impossible task. So the only way she's able to potentially find out Legend's true name is if she wins the game of Caraval. And so she has to play the game, and there's a lot of crazy things that are happening. If she doesn't win this game, then she not only might lose the game and lose the things that she wanted, but she also might lose her life. So it's a really good game, or a really good book, really high stakes, and I'm enjoying it. Can't recommend it enough. So far, I'm looking at this book being like a 4 or a 4.5 stars. I am really enjoying it. Probably it'll be a 4 stars, that's my prediction, but stay tuned on my Goodreads. Keep an eye out on there because I am always keeping that updated and posting my thoughts, my reviews, and what I rated each book. So keep an eye out on there. Otherwise, in another video, I will let you guys know what my final rating is for Legendary. But that is the final book that I have for you guys to wrap up for you, and my wrap up for April and May. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and for being subscribed to my channel. And if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and these videos interest you, then make sure to subscribe. Leave a comment down below what your favorite book was that you read in April and in May. Stay tuned for any future videos. I am really excited to get back into the swing of things with making content for you guys and posting new videos. And I'm so excited to just be able to talk to you guys again and connect with you all. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoy this video. Thank you for sticking around, and I'm so sorry for taking such a long break, but I will see you soon with my next video. Bye!